If you're into 3D printing and use Octoprint, you know how convenient it is. So Octoprint is open source software that is extremely helpful because it allows you to monitor your print remotely. But out of the box, Octoprint lacks a function which is very useful, and that is the ability to generate thumbnails of your models. And having thumbnails is helpful, especially if you've got a long list of models. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to install and configure two modules that will add thumbnails to your Octoprint installation. If you are interested in this and want to know how to install these modules, stay tuned and I'll be right back. Welcome back. So the first way to get thumbnails in Octoprint is by using the Cura thumbnails plugin. So let's get to Octoprint and I'll show you how to install it. So go to the plugin manager by clicking on the spanner and going to plugin manager, and then look for Cura thumbnails by clicking on the get more option and then putting in Cura thumbnails, and then install the plugin. It'll take a minute and Octoprint will need to restart. Alright, so once Octoprint restarts, it means that the Cura thumbnails is activated, and then it's ready to go. The next thing you'll need to do is install Octoprint Connection in Cura. So Octoprint Connection is a plugin for Cura. So let's go to Cura and go to the marketplace, and there you will need to look for Octoprint Connection. So go to plugins and go down right here, click on that and install it. Agree to all the legal stuff, and once you do that, you'll need to quit Ultimaker Cura and start it again in order for the plugin to be activated. Alright, so once you configure the Octoprint Connection module, every time you send a print to Octoprint, the Cura thumbnail module will recognize the Ultimaker format package file, or the UFP file, that is generated by Octoprint Connection, and it will generate a thumbnail using the UFP file generated by Octoprint Connection. So in order to get that to work, you'll need to configure the Octoprint Connection module. And the way that you do that is by going to Settings, Printer, Add Printer. Here you choose a non-networked printer and choose the printer that you have. So there are lots of options here. In my case, I have the Creality Ender 3 Pro. So I'm going to go to Creality 3D, and I'm going to go down and choose Creality Ender 3 Pro, and I'm going to add that printer. So I'll say add. It'll give you a number of options here. I'm going to basically just leave them as is. They should work. And at this point, we need to go to Settings, Printer, and Manage Printers. You choose the printer that you just added. In my case, it's the Creality Ender 3 Pro. And you say Connect to Octoprint. It'll bring up this window, and here you just click on Add, and you'll need to add this information to set your printer. So the instance name is the name of the printer. So in my case, I'm just going to call it Ender 3 Pro. And you also need the IP address. The way you get the IP address is by going to your router and seeing what IP address is assigned to the printer. Generally speaking, you're probably using a Raspberry Pi, so see which Raspberry Pi is getting the IP address for that printer, and you'll need to enter that here. So in my case, the IP address is 192.168.0.130. Everything else should be just fine. So say OK, and then choose Ender 3 Pro. It's going to open up this window, and you're going to have to send a request to the Octoprint installation or instance that you're using to confirm with an API key that it's okay to connect to the printer. So send the request, and this will open up the Octoprint instance. So put in all the login information and then log in to the printer. So once you log in, what you should see is an access request to connect to Octoprint coming from Cura. So click on allow, and that will send the API to the Ender 3 installation that you just made. And if you hit connect, it should connect you to the printer. Now, in my case, I'm going to uncheck start print job after uploading because I don't want to start the print job automatically. So I hit connect, and this should connect you to the printer. So right now we are connected, and the way you can see that it's connected is by closing these windows, going to monitor, and if you have a camera attached to your printer, you should be able to see your printer from Cura. So at this point, you can basically send a file to Cura, and it should generate a thumbnail of the file. So let's open up a file here. And I'm going to open up one of the vases that I made. And I'm just going to slice this vase and send it to Octoprint. So slice. And we'll say print with Octoprint. And it should automatically send this file to Octoprint. So it gets it ready first of all, and it's saving to Octoprint as Pentagon vase G code. So click on Octoprint here, and it will open it up, and you could see the image in Octoprint. So there's the file, and if you click on this icon here, you should be able to see it. And here it is. So once we are in Octoprint, let me just shut down these windows. We don't need them. Once we're in Octoprint, we can actually configure the way that the thumbnail is shown. And the way to do that is by going to the module. So click on the spanner and open up the module. So click on Cura Thumbnails, and it'll give you a number of options. Now, the way I like to do it is by clicking Use Inline Thumbnails, Scale Image to 50%. You can scale it to something a little smaller if you wish. 50% is pretty big, so you can scale it to, let's say, 40%. Position image to the left, align image, and that's it. Save the file, and now your image should be showing to the left of the name of the image. And if you click on the image, it'll open up a full-sized image. All right, so that's the first way to get thumbnails in Octoprint. Now, before I show you the second method, I just want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. It would mean a lot to me, and it will also notify you when I release new videos. So let's go on to the next method of getting thumbnails in Octoprint. In this method, you're going to be using a module known as Slicer Thumbnails. Now, I just need to tell you before I show you how to install this module and how to configure it, that I've reset Octoprint and Cura to their default conditions so that we're starting from scratch. So the first thing that you need to do is go to Octoprint and install the Slicer thumbnail. So let's get Octoprint on the screen and do that together. So what you need to do is go to the plugin manager and install the module. So find the plugin manager, click on it, and then click on Get More and put in Slicer Thumbnails in the search field. Here it is. So install it. Octoprint will install the module and then it will restart Octoprint. So we're going to hit restart now and we're going to proceed and Octoprint will restart. All right, so unlike the other module, this module uses a post-processing script in Cura that modifies the G-code being sent to Octoprint and inserts a thumbnail. So the way we get this in Cura is by going to Cura and adding a post-processing script. So what you need to do is go to Extensions, Post-Processing, Modify G-code. And there's a button here for adding a script. So click on that and hit the Create Thumbnails option. And this will now generate a script with every file that you send to Octoprint that will have a visual of your model. Now, one thing that's very important here is to increase the resolution of the thumbnail, because right now it's 32 pixels. So that is very, very, very low resolution and the image will be blurred. So what I like to do is increase it to 320 pixels by 320 pixels. So close it. And now we're ready to send a model to Octoprint and that model will be processed with a thumbnail. So I'm just going to open a model for my computer and we'll send it to Octoprint. So I'm just going to find a model on my computer here, 3D printing. I'm going to use the same vase I used before. So Pentagon vase, STL. And at this point, we're basically ready to slice the vase. So let me just bring this up a little bit and we can slice the vase. Now you'll notice that there's a new addition here, and this is the icon that signifies that there's going to be a script activated when I slice the model. So I'm going to hit slice and Cura will slice the model, and at this point the model is ready to be sent to Octoprint. So I'm going to save the model. Now, with this particular module and script, you can't send the model directly to Octoprint. So that's only possible with the other module, but it's not really possible with this module. So you need to save the file and then take it to Octoprint manually. So I'm going to save the file and I'm going to put it in my folder with all my models. 3D printing. I'm just going to put it here and it's called Pentagon Vase G-code. It's actually called Pevticon because I misspelled it. It doesn't matter. So now we need to bring the file into Octoprint. So I'll open the folder. The file is there and we can just drag the file into Octoprint. So it's uploading, and as you can see, there is an icon here for thumbnail. And there it is. Now, like the other module, you can modify the way it shows itself in Octoprint. So to do that, you go to the plugin. So hit the spanner, go down to the plugin, and it should be here, slicer thumbnail. Click on that. And what I like to do is use an inline thumbnail, and I'll scale the image. And again, I'll scale it to 40%. I'll position the inline image to the left, and I will align the image. So I'll say save, and the image should now be aligned to the left. And when I click on the image, just as the previous module does, it will show you a full-sized version of the model. And that's all there is to it. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. I hope that what I showed you today is going to be helpful to you. Now, before you leave, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Again, it will be really helpful to me, and it will also notify you when I release new videos. So until next time, take care, happy 3D printing, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.